replay of the round 21 AFL clash from Patersons Stadium in Perth between Fremantle and Carlton. Fremantle 9th on the ladder, need a victory to pop back into 8th spot, with Essendon's result still pending. And a couple of big ins, Clayton Hinkley in, probably to tag Chris Judd, and Aaron Sandilands, after his turf toe, has kept him out since round 14. Up against the Blues, who are 4th on the AFL ladder, 13 wins, 5 losses and a draw, and they are looking hot right now. Blues have a couple of big ins as well, and Jeffrey Gala playing game number 50. Zach Tui will start as the sub. Let's go to the action. Umpire Matt Stevick to get us underway. Good crowd in. Important clash, 4th v 9th. Sandilands wins the opening knockdown. Hill, Pavlich gets the opening clearance. Valentine, Joseph, wearing him like a glove early. Hadler, all the way back, dangerous 5. Pavlich, this would be the perfect start. Looks up, needs to kick it himself.
Well, they love to play fun and games at the beginning of the game, don't they? Matthew Pavlich lined up at centre-half forward, and Jeremy Laidler went to him. Just before they were ready for the centre bounce, Pavlich steps into the centre square. He goes into the first ball up, gets the clearance. He's involved in running on, gets on the end of a hand pass from Fife and finishes off. It's nearly impossible to work out matchups these days because they chop and change so often.
Well, Jeremy Laidler, just a shocking handball back in the corridor that didn't hit his target, and that's what caused the turnover, really.
Sandilands up early. Warnock into him. 2 old teammates head-to-head in the ruck early. Judd on hands and knees. Warnock gets a handball clearance. Thump back into the congestion. Crowd want an early ball decision. Don't get it from umpire Luke Farmer. Robert Warnock, 21 games for Fremantle. Side by side with Sandilands again, and he wins this one down. Carazzo back into the lineup as well. Bounces it inside 50. McFarlane caught. Was that a handball? Betts might make something of it regardless. And it's all square.
Well done to Matty Cruiser then. Matty Cruiser just kept the ball alive inside their forward 50, and Carlton have been very good. We can just see here right now that Michael Barlow's going with Chris Judd head-to-head. You'd be worried about leg speed, but Barlow can accumulate. And there, McFarlane just did not finish off the work by hand. And if you're going to turn it over, you turn it over 20 metres out like that, it's normally going to cost you a goal. Eddie Betts won't miss from there.
Two goals, and we've played a minute. One to either side. Eddie Betts, who spent a bit of time here in WA as a kid playing junior footy. Al Gurley, as well as played junior footy in Victoria and SA. Back to one of his old homes. Pavlich gets it up. Hill dragged down, and Carlton come up with it. Simpson from the wing. Spears that Cruiser, one hand. Couldn't take possession. Gibbs hooks around the body. Nice off the boot, just across the face a little. Only a behind.
Big job for Peter Fawkes, first game. He's got Andrew Walker. So big test for the youngster on debut. Stephen Hill limping away from this contest too, boys.
Here is Fawkes. Parents obviously Colombo fans. Peter Fawkes marks at half back. Ibbotson. Not in any hurry. No. Pike is in the hurry up now. Fife, the target, flies, and he gets himself an early touch, the Colt hero.
I think one of the keys of Peter Fawkes coming in for his first game is he's a true defender. What it has done is it's allowed Freo to release Silvani, who's playing forward.
Yeah, he's a mature age player, played fullback for Williamstown and the Casey Scorpions, so has got experience. Peter Fawkes is not a young first gamer. That's in the back.
But we did see
Robinson.
Silvani play a sensational game on Buddy Franklin only a matter of weeks ago, and now he's at the other end of the ground.
Dangerous kick to Henderson, but it's going to be okay. Plenty of space to move. Walker leads up, and he's run down by the NAB Rising Star nominee from last week, Zach Clark. Superb. Duffield. Pavlich. Back to Duffield. Gives it some air. It's over Silvani's head. Thornton should have marked that, and
very lucky. Yes, very lucky, because there were 3 Dockers set to raffle it and kick the goal. Probably should have taken the mark first up.
So Laidlaw's free.
Just wondering too,
I don't know where the push is.
Heath Scotland, who's in all-Australian form, they've gone with Ryan Crowley on him, just trying to negate him.
Yep.
Pavlich uses some body. Clancy Pearce, splendid tackle, no prior opportunity, so yeah, it'll be a ball up. Bright sunshine, finals atmosphere, finals kind of weather, and a finals kind of matchup. These two might even meet in the first week of the finals if it's 5th v 8th. Right now it's 4th and 9th. Big hip and shoulder on Carazzo from lower. And welcome back to AFL footy. Andrew Carazzo back from a calf injury. Yeah, took the heat. Sandlands rips it out of the air. Handballs forward lower. Henderson drags him down. Over the shoulder.
Yeah, looked it.
Umpire Ray Chamberlain says no.
Looked like the first arm went over the shoulder, but at least he didn't cough up possession. Not much in it.
Yeah, I'm happy with Ray's decision there.
Yep.
Well, Clark went in late. Judd almost uncharacteristic fumble, but still clears it from the congestion. And Gibbs to Judd. Look away, handball works. Davies tucked up against the boundary. Short. Walker, his first touch of the afternoon. Cruiser cruising inside 50 towards this ball. It's high for him. Edged under it by McFarlane. Back of the pack, Grover. Garlett trying to run him down. Kicks wide. Joseph, Pearce. Boundary line too quick for them both. Ball in.
Yeah, I don't think Grover was going to muck around with Jeff Garlett hot on his hammer. He kicked it long and wide, and that's a great result for the Dockers.
Early start here by AFL games in the West Standards. A few people in the crowd still finding their seats. Mzungu couldn't get a kick away. Murphy does. Rolls it to Walker. Sidesteps through some traffic cleverly. Back to Murphy. Now to Simpson. Has time to spend it. Spends it wisely. Betts.
Yeah, well, look, Mayne did the right thing because he wasn't allowing him to get back onto the left.
Good point.
But Duffield was worried about going back to cover the goal square. There's some terrific footwork from Andrew Walker. He had to realise that he wasn't going to go for goal on his right foot from 50.
Already got one. 40 goals, 16 for the season. Eddie Betts kicks a lot from close in. Strikes that beautifully. And signals to the crowd.
Well, I'm a bit worried. If that is the matchup, Duffield on Eddie Betts, and I don't think it's happened. That just happened in general play. Looks like Duffield's going up to the wing because there's no way known you want to take Duffield's attacking ability in the game away by playing him on Eddie Betts. But he's kicked 2 early goals so far, which is a real issue at the moment. They need to clamp down on him, and I think it might be Grover.
It is Grover. He was actually covering Thornton at that particular point in time.
Well, that's not a good matchup either.
And sure, you mentioned about that matchup that you don't agree with Grover on Eddie Betts, but a couple of weeks ago when they played Hawthorn, Cyril kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, and then they put Grover on him for the remaining 3, and he did a fantastic job. So they've obviously got a lot of faith in Andy Grover to cover that.
He also played on Stevie Milne a couple of weeks ago and had 4 kicked on him, Jacko.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to tell me that.
Yeah, okay.
Lower drag down. Dygan with the free. Carlton looking good early. Yarran takes off. Another WA boy back home. Carazzo missed Dygan. Lower gets his chance. Little toe poke. Can't keep it alive.
Just the lateral movement, I reckon, Jack. I love the way Anthony Grover goes about it, but the lateral movement of those players could be an issue. If it hits ground level, in the air, it's all right.
Barlow, Fife tried to slick one to Mayne. You thought it was a throw. That's almost a throw as well. Still in the thick of it, Barlow. Dragged down. Robinson tunnels his way through. Murphy gang tackled.
Well, I don't know. Let's have a look. whether it is a throw, and that, Fifey, that's a beauty. Got away with that on the blind side of the umpire.
Warnock, his own clearance, but it's a wobbler. Midfield, Garlick, clean hands. Thought about Yaron, ignores him. He's got Gibbs on the wind-up, and Gibbs can go at full speed. Thompson. Walker getting back, Falk's right with him, and the first game it takes him to the boundary. And one thing about being an experienced first gamer, you kind of know the angles if you've been playing what is a difficult position, fullback, all your life. He is a specialist at that position. Clark, Cruiser. Little palm down. Betts, Grover was right with him. McFarlane kick smothered. Grover stands under it. Armfield knocked it on. Robinson, almost. He rolled that across the face. And it'll be a ball in. He's got something a little extra. As Mitch Robinson certainly got some personality.
Didn't score, but it was a very respectable effort from the angle.
Clark almost held up by Cruiser, still gets a handball out. Boundary line looming. Simpson tried to keep it into Carazzo. We'll get another ball in. Glenn Jakovic.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Matthew Pavlich has just come down. It's in the hands of the physio. He's got some electronic pulse on his left calf or lower ankle. You can't see it from behind there, but just keep you posted with that, boys. Yeah,
Sandlands and Pavlich both off at the moment for Fremantle. Gibbs to Carazzo. It wasn't 15. To the square. Walker's there. And front spot almost Thornton stole it from both of them. Garlick spins it around the body. It'll be play on, not 15. Garlick gets his own crumb. Handballs it back again. Fumble. Ella Hunt dragged out. Chaos at the moment. Hill winds his way through a couple. Still in danger. Handball out. Johnson tries to knock it away. Subin messed that up. Mazungu, big hip and shoulder. Ball back in Simpson's hands. 50 from goal. Armfield, splendid.
Just tried to do a little bit too much, the Dockers, running it out of defence in some serious traffic. I know there was some great evasive skills by one or two of them, but at the end, you've got to cut your losses and clear the defensive area, and they didn't do that. They just put themselves under pressure by taking on one too many defenders. That created the turnover, and it's cost them a shot for goal. Dennis Armfield, he's got the job on Stephen Hill, so this will be a wonderful feather in his cap if he can get on the scoreboard.
Back into the team this week, Dennis Armfield, after an ankle injury, late withdrawal last week, and they have their mojo up early, the Blues.
Well, I think you hit it on the head there, Jason. Everybody knows about the frontal pressure that sides want to play in their forward half, and they want to keep the pressure on. If you want to handball through that and try and invent, I agree with you totally. If you can kick the ball out to the wing, and even if it runs over the boundary line for a throw-in, you just start up a 50-50. But in there, if you want to mess around with it, that frontal pressure, which the good sides are putting on, really causes issues as scoring it while you do turn it over. Massive stat here, Dwayne. 19 possessions of Carlton inside their forward 50, 6 to Fremantle. Carlton 3 tackles, Freo none.
Broughton to Johnson to 5. He plays on quickly. Hill gets and goes. Runs the wing. Shortish. Silvani. Lower's calling for it inside 50. He went for Pearce. Might be a bad option. Laidler picked it off. Dragged down. Didn't really have it. Ballantyne took off and didn't have it. Still comes out to Joseph, Yaron, and now the Blues are away again. Carazzo.
Another great opportunity gone to waste.
Simpson hasn't got a lot to go too long. It's a wobbler.
It was a nothing kick in the end.
Broughton, McFarlane, Duffield. Mazungu coming off that 30-possession game last week.
That's a poor kick too.
Yeah, Dygan cuts that off.
That's just their execution going forward, the Dockers. They're running really good patterns. They're creating terrific opportunities, but their foot skills in particular are letting them down. One worrying statistic at the moment, Shaw, is contested possession. Carlton 29, Fremantle 15.
Sandlands the flick back, Pavlich. Subin. Golden opportunity here. Long. Zach Clark the target. Good hands.
Great kick too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Out in front. Nothing Lockie Henderson could do about that. And he is a good athlete, Zach Clark.
He got on his bike then, didn't he? And
great tap.
Henderson's pretty quick. Henderson's pretty quick. And that just the finish there, that's exactly what you're talking about, Jason, that finishing off inside your 50. Need this goal, though.
You mentioned good athlete. He's one of the few AFL footballers of African-American Origins. Zach Clark.
That'll work.
He's got it all. And that was a much-needed strike. Straight through the sticks.
What we also saw in creating that goal was the stoppage win. The tap from Sandlands is supreme over the back to Matty Pavlich, who knew exactly where it was going. He squared it up, found Subban, and then Subban's left foot was a beauty. Out to the leading Clark, who didn't, and the big bloke didn't let them down. They needed it. You called it, Dwayne. Desperately needed it, and he finished it off.
Third season on the list for Zach Clark. They say big men take a little time to get it together. 37 in 2008. He's got it together right now. From the ball up. Gibbs towed that. Hillard. Murphy. Thornton.
Great kick on a non-preferred.
Eddie Betts wants it long. He ignores him. Armfield instead. 50 from goal. Maybe too far out to score. And now Fremantle get players back. Carazzo held up by Ballantyne. Right sunshine. Joseph.
Tell you what, they're allowing numbers to get back now, Dwayne. You see, got numbers back. Everybody is nearly forward of the back part of the square.
And he sits it up. Warnock's down there. He's got a couple to beat. Sandlands with the fist knocks it down. Johnson weaves some magic there. Bit of poetry in slow motion.
He did take his time, didn't he?
Barlow gets a 1-2.
Got to think their way through it.
And turns it over to Gibbs. Don't argue on Crowley. Joseph. Simpson. And again, they maintain this pressure. They get it inside 50. They normally score. The Blues.
He's a pretty good kick, Cade Simpson. He'll give this a ride. It's exactly what you're talking about before, Shoy. When everyone's pushed up the ground defensively, there's no one to kick to when you're bringing it out. So they've got to work it through either with short passes or by hand pass. And in the end, they turned it over again.
He likes his chances. Gives it a run. It's across the face. For a behind. Crowd finding some voice. Duffield. About the tick into time on opening term. Later with the big fist. Pumps that out of play and will get a ball in.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Have a look upfield. Nothing. There are no Dockers players. There's only one player main leading back, but he's being attended to. So they try to hand pass it through and they turn it over.
Armfield back inside 50. Walker through his legs. Thornton. Missed Walker. Broughton. He missed everybody. Cruiser. Walker. Scotland. Half held. Played for the free. Didn't get it. Thornton from the pocket. Across the face. Carlton couldn't make something of it, and we'll get another ball in.
Greg Broughton.
And it's on behind play. Scotland's a little grumpy.
And that'll be Crowley, who's been on him since the start of the contest.
Well, Scotland's had one possession, so Crowley's doing a good job.
It's a free kick. And it's going to...
It's going to be here.
It's going to free up for high contact against Heath Scotland.
Right.
And how they picked that out in that wrestle is beyond me.
Well, Jason, that's in front of me, and I reckon Crowley was leading that count to the headlock. I think it was 4-3.
And as is often the case, Jacko, the retaliator is the one that gets caught.
Now, the umpire's
Crowley's having a... The umpire's having a word to Crowley as if Crowley's the instigator now. Okay. Well, we said it was a finals-like game. They're taking it fairly seriously.
You just let that go, surely.
Yes.
Bain in the congestion. Subban run down by Betts, but got it up to Johnson.
Good kick.
Now the free man, Ballantyne. He can't quite trap it. Yaron lays a tackle. No free to Pearce.
Well
Yaron lays another tackle on Ballantyne and strips him of it to Judd. Robinson, Davies, the Blues away, and the fans a little restless. Armfield.
How good was Chris Yaron?
Hayden Ballantyne still down. What a magnificent tackle here from Chris Yaron, because if he broke that tackle, they were out, Carlton. They had 3 players forward of the ball. Brilliant play.
He was inches away from running onto the ball and then running into an open goal. Ballantyne. The kicks missed him by centimetres.
Cruiser down to Robinson, who slapped that to Judd. to half forward, bounces it. Thornton dragged down, one arm pinned. It's a throw according to umpire Chamberlain.
Well, he dropped it, but that's because he was tackled. It was their prior opportunity.
Bounces it to Clancy Pearce. Zach Clark. Well, he used the don't argue well, but then handball wasn't so good. Cruiser's kick ricochets to lower, to Fife. Back to Clark. And he takes on Cruiser. Wobbly kick, tough to mark. Silvani made it his.
Tell you what, he's had a brilliant month in defence, Alex Silvani, but what he does, he just knows how to read the play. You do that as a defender, but then you know how forwards think, and he just got to the front position beautifully then.
So it's a gamble from Mark Harvey to play Alex Silvani forward. He hasn't kicked a score all year. Gets his chance now. Let's see what he's got. From 50, it's a tumbler. That's the best ugly kick you'll see.
Well, it wasn't a pretty kick off the boot, but his alignment was good, his follow-through was good. So whilst it was a bit of a tumble punt, it did go straight, and it managed to avoid the man on the line. And now it's 3 goals apiece. See, I like Zach Clark as an athlete, and he doesn't panic when he gets the footy. He knows he's got the speed to actually give himself some breathing space, so he'll run and carry before he disposes of it. Look at that helicopter. They're always nice when they go through.
Thought you were going to send a cheerio to Stephen Kernahan after seeing that one.
Oh, Sticks would have been proud of that kick.
Oh, right. It was his forte.
I invented the helicopter.
From the knockdown, Murphy. Robinson, Armfield. Ellard, back to Murphy, who started it all and gets it going again. Dygan pops it. Simpson, Dygan, gee, they're full of run. Murphy again. 60 from goal, a sidestep, 55 from goal to the hot spot. Walker sits a little, 5.
Spoil.
Gets back and thumps it through.
Big defensive spoil, isn't it?
Isn't it good to see someone when they make their mind to leave their man and help out? I know his man went up in the contest, but that had to go through.
You'd see Andrew Walker waiting over the back for the crumbs. Had to be killed, and it was.
Armfield. Too far out. Midfield dangerous and not 50. Davies.
He's 50.
Oh, it is 50, is it? Okay. It looked like he was in the marking contest.
He was too late. He said he was too late.
Was he in the air though? You can't change when you're in the air.
No, you can't, but you've also got to make a decision before you leave the ground and jump in the air, whether you're going to be there to impact the contest.
It's on behind play. Cruiser and Clark going at it.
Well, what Fremantle want here, they want to keep this going behind play to try and get a free kick reversal.
Well, this will be his first ever goal. So a big moment for Marcus Davies. Kept it low. It's the first of his career.
Important one for the Blues too, just to stem the tide after the Dockers had bounced back with a couple of goals.
Let's see if he was in the air. Oh, gee, it's hard.
It's too late.
Yeah, you probably got to pay.
Look, it's not severe contact either. He half pulled up, and he's pretending that he's there for the spoil, but the mark had been completed, and that is the letter of the law.
Yeah.
The one thing they don't want to do is present the Blues with easy goals like that.
Cruiser got a hand on it, knocked down and gets his own crumb. Dispossessed as he was tackled. And Robinson on the stroke of quarter time misses.
Could have run into. He was clear.
Had Mark Murphy for a handball forward of the ball too. Well, just have a look at this kick and look at Michael Johnson here. He doesn't get back far enough knowing and reading the play. You can see him going back now, but he had to be back to come forward to the ball to help out defensively. Luckily, Pavlich helped out over the back of the pack then.
Sandlands crashes it inside 20 seconds. Murphy, handball to Arnfield, sidesteps Hill too easily, goes for goal. It's marked by Gibbs. He'll be on the angle. If he plays on and the siren sounds, it won't count if he kicks it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. We're down to 1 second.
Well, now he doesn't have the option. He's got to devise a kick now that will make the ball bend around, or he's going to go the straight drop punt. So he's got to kick it off 1 step.
Now, this shouldn't be allowed.
No. 1 step, that is allowed.
He did it well.
He has threaded that through. There's a lesson for kids. He's got some class, Bryce Gibbs, and he shows it after the siren. Blues, fantastic opening term. 17-point margin at quarter time. 5-5-35. Fremantle in an early hole. 3 straight. 18. Second term underway. Sandlands knocks it down. Murphy didn't really have it. Gibbs gets a clearance of sorts. It doesn't hit in Carlton's direction. Simpson makes it his. Tackled by Hill. Goes in a little high on outfield. Maybe play an advantage. Simpson to half forward. Cruiser. Poor bounce.
He's gone back, Silvani.
Broughton. Folks. First game and backs himself in. Sandland's not the runner. Pavlich is. Heads that towards 5 nicely. The leads inside 50 come.
McFarlane that's gone forward, Silvani back.
And McFarlane, gee, was that hands in the back? The umpire furthest from the play called that hands in the back, and the umpire right there said it wasn't.
That is amazing, that, Dwayne. He was side on that umpire, who's now on the mark, did not call the free kick. You are exactly right. Let's see if he uses his hands in the contest. Oh, that's a forearm.
And the blindsided umpire said it was hands in the back.
Was there a forward motion, though? You can use your forearms, but if you push forward with a motion, that has to be a free kick.
And for the record, it was Luke Farmer with the overall. Gibbs. That could be a huge decision. Been a nice momentum swing Fremantle's way. Move a man to full forward and he kicks you a quick goal.
I like him going there too, Luke McFarlane. Yes, kicked multiple goals before.
That's a great lead. A great lead, a 60-metre lead from Eddie Betts.
To Betts. And now Cruz at the target. Silvani with him. Doesn't travel out. Carazzo spins it. Cruiser nicely.
Oh.
Kick not so good. Turnover. Fox, who's looked pretty good until that handball. Cruiser gathers. Murphy. Robinson goes backwards. Thornton. Now he wants it back again, realising he probably made an error. Walker. Gibbs. Fantastic foot skills at the moment. Maintaining possession. Centering kick. Pavlich cuts it off. Thumps it down. Silvani. Mazungu. Duffield. And cut off by Murphy. Look out. Hands it up to Walker. Wants a handball option. Finds Robinson. He's got a couple options. He can kick the goal himself.
He's going to get a second go. He gets a second go. He should have handballed the ball.
Good point.
Was it Murphy that was free? He would have run. Mark Murphy's got his hands on his hips going, I can't believe Mitch Robinson didn't handball it to me, because he would have run into an open goal.
I reckon it's a team rule, you would think, Jason. If
very lucky to get a second go at it here.
Let's have a look. He should handball right. You can just... Oh, you won't see Murphy there.
That's a soft repeat free kick, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not...
Rampaging Ray Chamberlain, I think.
Not quite in the spirit of the finals-like contest. They've had some breaks early in this second term, the Blues.
We're just getting so pedantic about contact between...
Oh, that wasn't good, was it? Want to kick this, Mitch? I reckon Mark Murphy might just go up to him and say, hey, son.
I think that might happen at half-time anyway. From 30 metres out,
he's missed it.
Goal umpire does some dancing.
He's had 2 goes at it.
Gee. Poetic justice, perhaps. Here's the handball that...
Now look at Murphy screaming for it, runs into an open goal.
Gee, that'll be on the review tape on Monday. Sandland's front spot. He was told a little by Warnock, gets a free, and the crowd show their appreciation for a rare free.
Yeah, if you're going to run and bounce here, you have to hit a target, Ibbotson, and he did it pretty well. Main in the back.
Main, no arm slap free. Judd on the rebound. Eddie Betts wants to get and go.
No one to kick to.
So he goes back and forward. Falls lower. Chaos ball to half forward. Robinson tracking it down. Subin got there with him. Fawkes strips them of it.
He's done
Well
well.
done.
Grover pops that to Johnson, one of their better performers in the opening term. Mazongu, he can go. If it sits, he's away. 50 from goal, doesn't want the goal, goes to Crowley. Poor option, goal square was open. It's tied up, Crowley can't get it out, ball up.
Again, it's a really poor kick inside 50.
Doing a great job, Ryan.
Mazungu, he's got to make a better decision. Either hit the target or kick it longer to a contest than just a ground ball like that.
Sadlands falls, Warnock gets. Yaron with one hand. Thornton had some space on
they're out
Subin.
here.
Ellard can go. Gibbs, the delivery man. Cruz is working back toward the square. Can't get there. Silvani with him. Cruiser off the deck. Misses.
Ryan Crowley doing a great job on Heath Scotland this stage. One possession for the game, Heath Scotland.
And he has been in all-Australian form this year. Broughton. Johnson out wide. He can think about playing on. And he doesn't hit the target. Scotland, speak of the devil.
Yeah, he read that well.
Unfortunately for Crowley,
Oh, boy.
it was one of his own men that gave it to Scotland. Yaron.
Oh, there's a shank.
Garlop. Valentine hassled him off it. Yaron with a toe poke. Garlop had it, lost it, got it back again. Slippers it inside 50. Cruiser dragged down, no free. Main to Broughton. They're under siege right now, the Dockers. Yaron takes off. 50 from goal. He can smell a goal, or Simpson. How's that for a pass? It would have been harder for Simpson to get out of the way of it than Market.
They continue to put terrific defensive pressure on Freo in their defensive 50, and they're just struggling to clear the Carlton's forward 50 area. They're turning it over, they're kicking to contests. It's just not making good decisions, and they're certainly not executing well, and that's something Mark Harvey's going to need to address very quickly.
12 goals, 13 this year for Cade Simpson. To stretch this margin to 25. Opens the angle up.
He misses.
Sprays it. They should be a lot further in front.
Well, we're talking about 13 scoring shots to 3. An extra 10 scoring shots, and it's just a 20-point lead. Even if it was half and half, 5-5, that's 35 points. They have butchered the footy, Carlton.
And Fremantle had 27 tackles to Carlton 19. That's because they've been second to the ball, not because they're pressured better.
Johnson knocks it down lower. Hamwater Hill, clean bowls him. Arnfield. Joseph. Hill wraps him up, strips him of it. Joseph gets it again. Shrugs a tackle. Armfield.
Too easy, that. That's that defensive pressure Jason was talking about.
Robinson forces Arnfield to turn back and get it. Betts can't reach that far.
That is too easy coming out of that half back line there. You want to be a top side in this competition. Have a look at this. Just gave up on the chase. I think even Stephen Hill, a weak tackle. You've got to play those tackles. The turnover's important.
Sandlin's front spot knocks it down, but to Robinson, stripped of it. Warnock, Judd again gets it somehow. He is amazing to watch. High, full forward. Broughton drops it. Danger again for the Dockers. Grover turns it over. Got one for too high. Lucky. Betts was strolling in. 14 possessions now for Chris Judd.
And Chris Mayne looks like he's having a stint on Chris Judd at the moment. We saw him play a little bit of midfield last week on Brendan Goddard after starting forward.
Havlich drifted over the head of Ballantyne. Slight misjudgment, maybe a poor kick from Pavlich. McFarlane, Duffield, Ballantyne, Mazungu can go. He needs to hit a target. Johnson's short, or he needs to kick the goal himself. He ignored the goal, goes to 5. Can't quite pluck it, can't quite get up. Joseph wants to rush it. Warnock, Robinson, Murphy. Amazing, the Blues.
Yeah, Freo are just finding ways not to kick goals when they go forward.
Gee,
time to hit a target, options. They just can't finish their work.
Davies back to Robinson. He's got Simpson wandering around on defensive 50. Lower doesn't even come at him. Scotland. He'll need to jump.
Mitch Robinson.
Too wide.
Just got to know your limitations. First thought, he didn't handball to Murphy, and I reckon Simpson was on the outer then. Look at this.
Davies again.
They have slaughtered the ball, Fremantle.
That's Ballantyne that time.
Just his 4th game for the year, Marcus Davies, after 5 games last year, and he's looking the goods. Judd, possession 15.
Look at that handball.
It works, though. Robinson, poor handball. Pavlich left it behind. Carazzo mops up that little mess. Back to Judd. Better kick. Thornton hands it off immediately. Gibbs, Murphy. It's like an avenue of honour for the Blues at the moment. All their big guns firing. Back to Gibbs.
Go all the way here.
Yeah, they're just working harder.
Garlett's in the square. No one comes at Gibbs. Ibbotson strolls up to him. No pressure on the kick, and he misses.
They are running harder than Fremantle. The Dockers, the Blues at the moment, and that's why they're getting that overlap.
Well, Jason, to add to that, are they a lot fitter given that Fremantle was interrupted pre-season? Their inability to finish off the game, especially the last quarters this year, they haven't won too many, so that could be a telling factor.
Zungu, Broughton, Ibbotson, Hill, all getting a piece of it.
It's an interesting point that Jacko makes, because we're a little bit removed from the issues that the Dockers have had this year, so it's very difficult to judge sometimes.
Farland to Fife.
This is the next kick, though. This is the one they've really fallen down. And it hasn't been a massive amount of pressure, just they haven't hit the target. He found him that time.
Barlow thought about going for goal, goes for Main in the pocket.
Better build up. Good players, ball in hands, Dwayne.
I don't know if he's still on Chris Judd. He had a brief run on Judd, but he looks a natural forward, a natural leading type, Chris Main. The clearances are killing Dockers at the moment. 17-4 now. We know they were that keen to get Aaron Sandlands back into the side, but it's not making any difference to the clearances.
Played 12 minutes in this second term without a score, the Dockers. And there's a hush around Patersons Stadium. Main, huge kick. He misses.
I reckon the biggest stat, too, in this day and age of competitive football, contested possessions are important. 64 to 38.
Well, look at the total possessions. A Carlton 172, Fremantle 109.
Scotland.
63 more possessions in a quarter and a half. That's just controlling the football. And look at their skills.
Thornton,
compared to that of the Dockers.
He was manned up, Thornton, but the pass was so good that it was to his advantage. Judd.
He got some numbers out here.
And now Laidler, he can gather and go. He's got Yaron as the short, who likes to run and bounce. Doesn't this time, just runs and finds Simpson.
One of the keys we had before the game, Jason, was deny Fremantle the ball. Well, Carlton are doing that right now.
Mitch Robinson.
Yeah, he needs to use the ball better, Mitch Robinson. He's butchered it the last 4 or 5 times he's touched it.
To Cruiser. Uses the body. And doesn't keep it in.
Surely. Thank you. That wasn't a bad kick, that one from Robinson. He identified the mismatch. It was Barlow that was having to pick up Cruiser. There's no issues with that kick.
Cruiser front spot. Sandlands edges him under the ball and then slaps it. Straight to Robinson. Bang! Gone. Dispossessed. Ballantyne. Johnson can't mark it half forward. Half held by Henderson. Later dives in. McFarlane makes a contest.
Good hands.
Joseph gets away from Hill. Got his arms free at least. Armfield. Out of side. Simpson. And their foot skills get them out of trouble again.
However, Jason, to go back to that point, I mean, Fremantle had a clearance there, perfect to Michael Johnson. But Carlton's ability to work back outnumbered the next contest 3-1. So they're just working a lot harder for each other.
Absolutely.
Little hands in the back, nudge free for Jeffrey Carlton, playing game number 50 this afternoon for the Blues. Puts it up for Warnock. Walker. Did he keep it in?
Oh, lucky that
umpire was a long way behind.
Tell you what, Broughton was lucky there because he stopped waiting for the whistle and it came very, very late.
He just presumed it was out.
Yep.
Talked about how big this game is for Fremantle. It's huge for Carlton too. Carlton, the West Coast Eagles, 4th and 5th right now. Carlton half a win above the West Coast Eagles in 4th spot. It's a lot better attacking the finals from 4th and 5th. Murphy short. Carazzo puts it to the top of the square. Ellard flies, can't mark. Subin seeks the line. It's crunched by Walker. Ball in.
Too quick to run away from this with Sandilands and Cruiser. They're just getting a bit handsy.
You can hear the umpire there. Don't be too quick to run away from a Cruiser and Handlands. They're getting a bit handsy. So I don't know what that means.
Hands in the backy. Hands are grabby.
Handsy, touchy.
Push and shovey.
Zungu. And we'll get another ball in. This would be one of the rare occasions, Jacko, where West Coast Eagles fans will be barracking for Fremantle this year.
They've been supporting him all week.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Just saw Ray Chamberlain off the ball having a word to Aaron Sandilands and Matthew Cruiser.
Off the head. Cruiser again. Stripped of it. Fox. Fife. Didn't take it out. Walker. Time to get up. Kick it. Goal. Not bad. Oh, not quite good enough. Yeah, it would be huge for the West Coast if Fremantle knock off Carlton in this game. The West Coast hunting down that 4th spot. They've got their own game against the Demons tomorrow. They do have a game in hand over Carlton as well, the West Coast. Carlton with a bye still to come.
They haven't put them away yet, Dwayne, but you just cannot see where Fremantle get someone to mark the ball and score.
Sandilands and Pavlich both there. All out of play.
Doesn't look anywhere near as dangerous in the marking contest, Aaron Sandilands. I don't think he's running and jumping with normal freedom. We know he's suffered with that severe toe injury. You can certainly expect it to hamper his attack on the footy.
His first game since round 14 for Sandilands. Pavlich.
Fair to say there's a bit of weight going through the joint too.
Mazungu, Duffield, Main. Looks up, Joseph looks at him, takes him out.
The other issue too, because he's underdone, because they haven't got a marking target in the foreline, just to straighten him up, I wouldn't mind him saying less in the ruck and let Zach Clark, who's been in pretty good form, do a lot more, and just put Aaron Sandilands to the goal square, just to give him another marking target, because they don't look like marking inside 50 at the moment.
Five for the thump on Yaron. Tracked by Ballantyne, gets some protection, weaves some magic. Shrugs a couple of tackles. Walker the target for his kick. Off his hands. Backtrack was Subin. Foulks through legs. Hill dishes it up. Still taking the game on the Dockers. Main. And that's got to be high.
Has to be.
No.
Missed it. Just gets it clipped in the back of the head there. The round arm from Andrew Walker. Should have been a free kick.
Have a look at Fife on the bench with Jacko shortly, but Scotland dishes it up. Duffield going nowhere. How's he look, Jacko?
Oh, he's just come up. I think he's got a severe corking on that right side. He's just pointing to the actual area. Maybe a hip flex of it, possibly.
It's not going to help them. Just the 8 possessions for Nathan Fife hasn't had a huge impact.
18 goalless minutes in his second term for Fremantle so far. Arnfield. Walker, he was held as he attempted the mark according to umpire.
Advantage.
Ray Chamberlain advantage. Carazzo to Betts.
Well done, Andrew Walker.
What about the kick from Carazzo too? That is a beauty on the left foot.
Well, as we just said, Clark's gone in the ruck. Aaron Sandilands has gone forward. Well, it doesn't help you now because they're not getting the ball in there at the moment at all.
This is for number 3 for Eddie Betts. 2 in the opening term. To the booze, opens the angle up, never in doubt. Carlton out to their biggest lead of the game, 27 points.
Well, that's called making the most of the advantage rule. They got a clean spill of the footy. Andrew Carazzo knew what he was doing. You can see playing in front, the quick kick. Fawkes had to give away the free kick. He taps it out, Walker, and then the kick from Carazzo to Betts was a beauty. And he likes interfacing with the crowd, Eddie, doesn't he? Just likes to put on a little show. He's got 3 to his name. The one thing that Freo have got going for them is they haven't played particularly well, but they're still in the contest.
Yeah,
Carlton haven't put them away with poor kicking. 6 goals, 10. They should have virtually sewn the game up, but they haven't. And if the Dockers can just find a lift in a few areas and get a couple of key players into the game, they're right in it.
Well,
Murphy.
weak tackle.
Too easy. Possession 15 for Murphy. He went for Gibbs, who might see it coming back. Ibbotson gathers his ball.
That's a better kick.
Silvani runs, pumps it inside 50. Chaos ball. It bounces. Sandlin's made it his. Ballantyne, if anybody can, Hayden Ballantyne can.
Well, that's the one, Shaw. And finally, we saw a square up off half back into the corridor, and that allowed them to attack from a much better position. And again, what you were asking for before, Shorey, get Sandlin's forward.
Yeah.
Where's the ball going to go? It's got to come front and square if he doesn't mark it. And he just shoots out the little hand pass.
First goal for Hayden Ballantyne. First Docker goal for the quarter. And a big 2 minutes coming up here before the main break.
Well, another goal here, and they are definitely back in this game. And as you said, they haven't taken their chances, Carlton.
Walker wrapped up. Good tackle.
Yeah, it's a really good tackle from Fawkes because he didn't get into his back.
He's been good, hasn't he, the youngster?
Been impressive in his debut.
He was picked up by the Swans back in the 2006 draft. He was picked 65, went to the Swans, didn't play a game there. So he has been around for a while at least, Fawkes. Judd. Robinson. Look away, handball works. Gibbs. Thornton can go for goal. He's got Cruiser in the square. Puts it up long. Betts might get there. He just wanted it more than most.
He's been a worry, hasn't he? He's been a dangerous forward. They haven't had a genuine matchup for him that really suits him.
Well, Anthony Grover's played on him for a large part of the game, but he's on the bench at the moment. It's hard to work out who was actually responsible for him then.
Might have been Broughton, was it, on that occasion? Just
Broughton has been picking him up, but I think on that occasion it was Garrick Ibbotson.
So for the instant reply to Fremantle's goal, Eddie Betts for his personal number 4. And in the shadows of half-time, Carlton lead by 26.
Well, we're talking about a late goal would have served Fremantle very well. So one thing they couldn't do is concede another. And I just thought in the middle of the ground, Paul Duffield made a poor decision. He ran back to pick up his man instead of attacking the footy because the hand pass missed Mitch Robinson. He actually could have gone and impacted the contest, but he allowed Robinson to pick up the loose ball, fire out a hand pass, and then the kick found Eddie Betts. You can see Ibbotson just couldn't get back with him with the fly to the footy.
Ball's dead.
Stephen Kernahan, Adrian Gleeson as well.
Plenty to smile about.
2 superstars, premiership stars, one of the all-time greats. Sticks Kernahan. 1 minute away. Can Fremantle get one back? Judd tries to run free. If you've just joined us, Juddy has 18 possessions so far. Barlow the steal to half forward. Yaron too good for Pearce.
Gee, he did that well. He used his chest to push his opponent under the play there.
Just strong in the contest there, sure. He just held the line on the ball and didn't take his eyes off it.
Possession 18 for Gibbs to Thornton. Hands it up. High kick Joseph. Silvani gets back. 35 seconds. Hill, he can get and go. Zach Clark's calling for it long. Fawkes.
Oh, dangerous.
Oh, boy.
Certainly wouldn't want to concede another one now. Cruiser. Turnover Main. Out of trouble. 20 seconds left.
They've got
And it
time.
opens up. Ballantyne looks up. Has to hit the target. Clancy Pearce takes the mark. Wants to
back.
play on. Only 10 seconds left. Looks up. Pass option.
Not a good option.
That's just a seriously poor option, isn't it?
It was suicidal.
A 1-on-2.
Took out all chance of a late goal. Half-time at Patersons Stadium. And in many respects, Fremantle, its own worst enemy. The Blues, 4th on the ladder right now. And it's 7:10:52 to 4:2:26. On track for a rare away win. 26 points the margin. They're not out of it, the Dockers, but in some respects, they haven't got in it just yet. 26 points, half time. Held, yeah, and he didn't get a free on it. That was cruel. Carazzo sweeps a handball wide. Zach Clark tries to get there, meets Judd, who still collects. Clark collects him, dispossessed. Clancy Pearce pops it in the Ballantyne direction. Got that. Thinks about playing on. Takes off.
And misses. You believe that? He did everything right until he played on.
Oh, they needed that, didn't they?
He showed great courage. All he had to do then was stop, take his time, go back and have the set shot. And he just put himself under pressure by playing on.
And by doing that, you give the ball back to Chris Yarran, who you don't want it in his hands at all. And he messed this one up, though.
Scotland back, Yarran. Now Sandlin's, Warnock, Fife.
Again, good courage.
His body on the line. Barlow, top of the square. Farland can't mark. He's hardly seen it. Laidler hands it over. Barlow collects. He's got players on the rebound. Pearce, Johnson. Thinks about going himself, goes to McFarlane, who sees it finally. Can't get a snap away. Clark, he's been good all day.
They blew it again. They blew it again.
Good forward pressure, though. They have to keep this up and they'll get the opportunity. Soon it'll break.
Michael Johnson needed to go first option, handball over the top. They run into an open goal. But again, the Blues' pressure has them second-guessing, making them make split-second decisions. And the Dockers haven't handled it thus far.
Yarran short to Carazzo.
His hands have just been off Andrew Carazzo. Had he been out of the game for a while.
Pumped out of the area in the end by Allard. Walker attacked it nicely, got a shin on it. Pavlich, little fumble. Yeah. Garlett stole it back. Murphy tucked up against the line, does well. Robinson spears that. Simpson, and now the Blues take off. Simpson looks up, sees the Sandlin's running after him. Has a bounce. Sandlin's can still gobble him up, but he's given up. Top of the square. Garlett lurking. Trapped by Silvani. In fact, it was Foulkes. Splendid work. Pavlich can't trap it. Judd does trap it. Goes for goal. Oh. They're hot, the Blues. And Judd puts some petrol on the fire.
Well, just to finish, it is a cruel game. If you don't take your chances, you're going to pay a price. And Fremantle here, we can just see, gets a hand here, Garland. Good tackle because he held in one hand. That ball had to go out a bit wider, out of the corridor. Scotland runs at it. One grab, class player, class finish. That's exactly why he's a champion, this bloke. But Fremantle don't take their chances up the other end. And if you're not going to take them in this game, you're going to pay a price, as I said.
Biggest lead of the game, 30 points. Almost a deathly silence here at Patersons Stadium.
Still, it's Chris Mayne running with Chris Judd.
Hill, Clark, Ibbotson, Ballantyne with Carazzo. Sidestep was clever, the pass just as good. Pavlich, can he hit a chest? Johnson's on the move to the back. Henderson got a hand on it. McFarlane steals it, loses it. Barlow dives in, the umpire will sort it out with the ball up.
You can see Matthew Pavlich with his hand raised, apologising. Even he's missing targets. He had an obvious target short if he wanted it. He looked for the longer target, but still missed him. Kicked it over his head. So they're having problems disposing by foot, hitting targets all over the ground.
Sandlin took it out of the air. Hillard thumps it away. Pavlich, Garlett. Pavlich manhandles him away, and Garlett's still too good. Mzungu. Bounce eludes him. That's too high, surely. Crowd rule their approval.
He's a good player, Silvani, isn't he? He's showing his... well, he started up forward and kicked a goal, but he's gone down back again, and he's playing well down back.
Makes that tough for Clark. Almost marks it. McFarlane. Back to Clark. Barlow. Splendid tackle, although he shrugged it. Clark from the pocket, centering kick, Sandlands, he misread it.
His timing's out.
He cannot jump, can he?
No power.
I think he's worried about landing on that foot. I'll tell you what, he wouldn't want to do it again because it could be career threatening if he keeps fracturing or opening up that break.
Takes it out of the air, hands it off, but not to a target. Judd gets there first, and he takes off. Left foot kick, spectacularly good. It's wide. It allowed Murphy to either run onto it or let it run out.
Great test for Tendai Mzungu, just playing on Mark Murphy. You'll find out what running's about when you play on Mark Murphy.
And Jason, you mentioned about Alex Silvani. The one thing that's noticeable about him, he knows his limitations and he plays to his strengths all the time. So that's why you can back him all the time. He's a reliable player.
Robinson tries to thread his way through. The seas didn't part for him. The lift doors closed on him. Barlow.
Now you got Sandlands on Scotland at centre forward.
Talk about limitations.
Kick it there. So he kicks to a 1-on-4.
Yeah, that's crazy. Although it works. Crowley, centering kick, puts it up high. Lower's got 2 to beat. Laidler.
So they have tall options everywhere, and they kick to a 1-on-4 followed by a 1-on-2 to 2 smalls. I don't get that.
Hill hurt in the hands of trainers. Wide ball to Henderson. The 2 subs, by the way, Hinkley for Fremantle and Tui for the Blues. Neither of them have been used yet. If you've just joined us, Garland.
We'll take on Barlow easy there.
Handballs along the line.
And
Paddles it his
Silvani.
own way. Silvani falls. And he gathers just outside 50. Goes long. Thornton goes square. Got it. That was amazing.
Well, he had 2 players, Dwayne, who you'd think lack of leg speed is a big issue. Barlow as a midfielder, we know he accumulates, but he's not quick.
But knowing that, Shorey, you've got to take the body.
You take him out.
The body out and give away the free
It wasn't
kick.
good defensively, was it? Good identification by Jeff Garlett, though, who was around him.
Thornton runs around.
And did you see the lack of pressure
It's
on the
disgraceful.
side?
Madness.
That is woeful. Absolutely. Now, there's two options here. Barlow's the first one. You've got to just tackle him. Just dive and tackle him. Don't reach in with a hand.
Even if you give a free
and
kick
then
there.
Silvani tries to bump the body, but you're better off tackling him and drag him to ground, and then it's an easy mark for Thornton. But what really would annoy Mark Harvey is how easy he was to run around. No one's coming in to put pressure on. There's no one within 5 or 10 metres of him. That is poor attention to detail, poor discipline.
You can't blame a bad pre-season or injuries for no pressure on a kick a goal like that.
That is discipline and desire.
He's made a few changes. Ryan Crowley, who had the best of Heath Scotland in that first half, now has gone forward. I don't think he kicks many goals.
He kicked 5 in the game, I reckon, at one stage.
Yeah, it'd be 1 and only.
Yeah. Sandlands to Pavlich. McFarlane needs to get into the game. Ball eludes him. Out of play.
Sure, he has been a goal kicker. A couple of times he has kicked 3. Once in a derby, I think he kicked 3. But we've got a mismatch now. Silvani deep in the other end of the ground on Chris Judd.
Just the 2 kicks for McFarlane so far today. Back into play. Sandlands flicks it. McFarlane played for the free, didn't get it. Barlow off the deck. And he misses.
But even that is a great indication of work rate. That was Barlow 1 out against 4 Blues that were closing in on him.
Yarran to bring it back into play. Fremantle's entire season at breaking strain right now. Scotland. Their run home, Fremantle isn't kind. They've got Collingwood in a couple of weeks here. They might have to win that to make the finals. Hillard. Carazzo. Walker, his target.
He's good, Fawkes.
Yep, he has been good.
Bumped down by Fawkes. McFarlane on the wing.
They've won it.
Stripped. And it does roll free. Well played, Simpson. Kept it rolling, and Murphy gathers. Warnock on his own inside 50. He can stroll if he wants to. He holds it up.
He's got Judd loose. He's got loose players everywhere.
And he goes to Judd eventually. Judd takes them on.
They wanted that more on the wing then, though, Dwayne. They were just harder at the body, harder at the contest. And at the moment, this is becoming a little bit embarrassing. Just have a look at it. Just the want to win the contest. Simpson, he is a great player.
Yeah, there's not a massive difference on the scoreboard, although it's big enough. But there is a pretty big gulf between what we're seeing in terms of a team battling to make the 8 and one team that pretty much believes they're a top 4 side and think they can be a real threat.
Carlton's tackle pressure here on the wing again almost works for them. Ibbotson gets it off to Ballantyne, who takes off. Crowley's running back towards goal, needs to prop, knocked down by Yarran to his own advantage. Getting in Ballantyne and Henderson, wrapped up, dropped it. Armfield, caught, dragged down. Ballantyne's got him. Crowd yelling ball, still get nothing. Johnson, Hill goes for goal from 50 away. Hits the post. Nothing working for them.
Yeah, but that last kick from Ballantyne was symptomatic of just about everything they've done today. It didn't have the penetration to get over the top. It should have been a shot for goal for the Dockers.
Fremantle look up and the ball's on the wing already.
Yeah, and loose Carlton players everywhere.
Thornton to Murphy. Judd's only rival perhaps to stop him from getting a Brownlow this year. He's been in outstanding form again today. Takes on Main, and that is too good.
Ridiculous.
It's a floater. Gibbs stands under it. Fife. Duffield shut down by Betts. Pressure on the kick. And Arnfield wins it because of the pressure. Back to the man who put the pressure on Betts. Number one tackler inside 50. Sets up his own attempted goal, and that's not so spectacular.
How good was that between the legs?
He enjoyed the first one, and then he just bit off a little bit more than he could. I thought he was actually going to try and step inside the second one.
Bit of showboat there.
A wry smile on the face of Eddie Betts. He went the miracle banana around the corner.
Number one tackler in the AFL inside 50, Eddie Betts, and he's got 4 goals to add to that this afternoon. That's a toe off the deck by Gibbs, and Grover runs it through. Here's Betts again. Ibbotson with the kick in. 36 points the margin to Pavlich. Got high, couldn't mark it. Johnson crumbs it. Clark couldn't collect. Barlow does. Pierce, and now Hill. He's the runner. Needs to collect and give it over the top. He went to ground. Oh, that is horrific.
Yeah.
Judd to Ellard. Here go the Blues.
He had lower loose in the forward 50 all on his own.
Ibbotson stands under this. Takes an easy grab.
Well, Stephen Hill, you've got to know when you go at the contest, all he had to do was keep his head over the ball then instead of sliding in. He would have got contact and probably would have got a 3 kick.
Yeah, body barrel it forward.
No doubt.
Difference between these two teams right now. It might only be 4th and 9th on the ladder, but they are a golf apart.
Yeah.
Mazungu, 5.
Someone's got to lead up at him. Everyone's leading back.
Johnson does lead up. 5 might go for goal himself. Heads the square and cut off by Yarran.
He did not get one good lead coming up at him there. Nathan Fife. Someone had to lead at the player with the ball.
Ellard keeps it low, makes it tough for Thornton. Feeds back onto it. Pierce gets there first. Arnfield helps him out.
Just have a look at the last time Ballantyne was going forward. He's got 2 options. He can run and carry or kick it over the top. You can see the player clear, but he doesn't get enough penetration on it, and it was to the wrong side of the contest. Crowley should have been having a shot for goal, but Ballantyne just couldn't hit the target, and unfortunately, all of the Dockers have done that when they're going forward.
Cruiser, Gibbs, Thornton, back to Gibbs, and already the Blues in the blink of an eye.
Oh, danger
to
here.
half forward. Betts, nearly. Marks inside 50, Carlton 10, Fremantle 5.
Well, that nearly shows the story there. And Fremantle have had a number of opportunities, but as Jason said, you've got to pinpoint. If you run and bounce the ball and you're in free space, you've got to find a target.
Judd again, takes possession, takes them on, gets a handball out to Garland, outside of the boot. It's all about the bounce. Oh, Broughton waited for it.
He did. There is no desperation whatsoever from the Dockers, and that's an indictment on the effort. I hope we get to see Greg Broughton here as he waits for the ball to come down, because he's worried about the bounce. Well, the one bounce you've got to cater for is the one that he just backs off and pauses. He had to go hard at the footy, because the one bounce that kills him the most is the one that goes straight ahead to the goal line. Don't wait for the ball to bounce back to you. You've got to defend the goals.
Level 50 maybe. Ballantyne took them up. and takes off.
A bit tired after that run, Chris Yarran.
A little bit undisciplined there because he thought he should have got a free kick after he kicked it, and probably unnecessary on that occasion. No doubt it was unnecessary.
Oh, he slides, falls over, takes on Cruiser. He's over it. He's tackled. He's dead.
Ray.
That typifies the day for Fremantle, doesn't it?
Hands it off to Walker. Hasn't got himself a goal yet. Takes off to 50. Sizes them up. And he misses. There's something wrong with that Sherrin.
Well, it won't go through the middle.
It's alarming how much time and space the Blues have. When they win possession after a turnover, they run, carry, they're creating shots to goal. Now, they're not kicking them, but the ease with which they're finding free players going forward raises some serious questions over the Dockers' work rate.
They're just so stagnant, aren't they, the Dockers? They don't switch enough, they don't do it quick enough, and they're not running bounces. I don't think they've had many in the game.
Grover over the top to Main. And now Crowley with Scotland. Scotland did well, brings it to ground. Crowley tried to edge him under the ball, couldn't.
4 against 2, though.
Laidler, Scotland, Crowley gets it up. Barlow, Johnson. It's been good all afternoon and is good here.
Finally, they get one.
Gives them some hope.
Well, they just kept the ball alive. They haven't done it well all afternoon, but it was a one-on-one. I thought Scotland did it right early, then Crowley backed up. I thought they were getting out here at Carlton, but messed up the handball.
They did well, the Doggers, because they were outnumbered.
Yeah.
More blue jumpers than the purple ones.
Good handball over the top. Also from Michael Barlow to just open up for Johnson. Well done to Crowley. Kept the ball alive as a defensive forward. And they needed that goal.
Well, you mentioned good work by Crowley. The most important thing there, he didn't go to ground. Scotland went to ground, and making that move, Mark Harvey, has just added them a little bit of physicality, and that was a well-worked goal for Fremantle. The important thing now is they need back-to-back goals, boys.
Yeah, can they get on a roll? That's the thing that's been hard to see.
Valentine wins himself a free.
He's trying to lift it.
Yeah, he's gone into the middle, trying to get amongst the play, and there's a good quick kick.
To Barlow. We've played 20 minutes, third term. Finally, some momentum Fremantle's way. Spears it inside 50 and dropping back against the flow. Henderson.
I tell you that one kick, though, that Carlton have got to be worried about this. It's centre bounces. If Fremantle win it, they've been able to hit that one kick forward to Barlow on that occasion. Ballantyne's been on a number of times too.
Robinson floats a little. Betts has to go to the contest. Ballantyne beats him.
Having a purple patch here, except for the slip. Oh, look at the kick.
Shocking.
Give him a rap and look what happens.
Almost a drop. Carazzo on the third grab.
And he must know as a forward how frustrating kicks like that are straight to the man in the hole.
36 points the margin. Lower backs back. Walker from 4 deep crashes the pack again. Ballantyne, and again he wins a free surely. No in the back against Davies. Crowd again voicing their disgust. Flick down from Warnock. Muzungu steals it to Sandlands to half forward. Off hands. Pearce tackled Joseph. He just got it off to Arnfield in time. Murphy backtracks. He's got the outlet handle. Carazzo sidesteps Hill with ease. Joseph. No one comes at him. Walker with 3 to beat. And a good mark to Silvani. Then holding solid to Clark. 22 minutes gone. Pavlich. Muzungu lurking at the back. Can he pounce? Arnfield got there before him.
Numbers.
Henderson.
Numbers back and numbers coming out. So what does that tell you about where are all the Dockers? They're back in the middle of the ground just walking.
Dygan to Scotland. One of the best 40-metre passes in the game right now. Either foot. Gibbs. That's a bad 40-metre pass. Fumble from Silvani. Rare error. It was a tough one. High on Subin. Here's what the crowd roar for again. They don't get it.
And Dwayne Clayton Hinkley has come on. Fremantle have made their substitute, and Nick Lower out of the game.
Yeah, so Nick Lower's day is done.
Had a quiet one too, Dwayne. 4 possessions.
Zach Tui, Carlton sub, yet to be used. Simpson
That's you.
just gets a kick on it as he was bumped. Grover stands under it. And crowd 150.
Front contact.
Don't
Stay
get
there.
it.
It's interesting they pay the free kick when you take the mark. I'd rather be paid the mark than given the free kick. It's a better stat.
Silvani. Floats it over the top. Subin.
Missed a target.
Broughton. Mazungu.
Then look at the numbers swarming in for the Blues.
Yeah, Mazungu didn't have it there. And he wins himself a free kick.
The number of times Dockers players just sag away from the contest, and 3 and 4 of the sky blue jumpers of Carlton just come steaming in. Puts enormous pressure on the Docker around the ball.
Subin, 50-metre kick to Crowley. Used his hands illegally. And the umpire furthest off the contest paid that.
Hands in the back. Yep, got time on. Thank you, Luke.
Okay.
No doubt on that occasion. Let's have a look. 2 hands in the back and see you later.
Just not enough players are well versed enough in that body on body to actually use the hip.
Yeah.
You don't even have to use the forearm. You can use your hip and bend into them and work them under the ball if you can judge the flight correctly.
Barlow trying to shuffle a handball out. Robinson trapped it, throws that away. Free kick, Pavlich. Play on advantage, but Barlow runs into traffic. It's to go back to Silvani.
And misses a target.
So a poor option to play on there. Silvani to Duffield, to Broughton. Oh, look at that. That is disastrous.
Yeah, and that's the sign of the pressure, though. He had to kick as soon as he got the ball because he was about to be tackled. But now loose numbers here. They'll pick them apart. You've got Garlett all on his own in the attacking 50. Matty Pavlich is trying to get back to pick him up.
But doesn't it come back to Barlow to making a better decision after the Pavlich tackle?
Yep. Yeah, good call, Jagger. He played on, he took the initiative, and it didn't help his team.
Silvani does well again.
And a stage where Fremantle trying to get back in the game, deny Fremantle possession of the balls, Carlton possession of the ball. So get it, go back, and just play keepies off for 5 minutes.
Inside 3 minutes to three-quarter time. Ibbotson wrapped up. Stolen by Simpson. Runs free. Kicks from 48. Slightly across the face. Still alive. Dragged through.
Tell you what, Jacko, they have become a very stagnant side. When they were up and going, and I know they've had injuries, but still the style of play, they just haven't got confidence to switch play and take the game on.
They're lacking confidence. They're reactive to Carlton. Carlton obviously have shown the way, the intensity, but Fremantle certainly are lacking that confidence that they had at the start of the year. Take the game on. They're not taking the game on.
Hill.
Kick it along over the top. That's where Fife wants it.
And Fife might get it. And he can play on if he wants to. Hands off to Crowley. Made it tough. Bounced it to him. But he kicks the goal. They've got 2 in a row.
Well, I was a little bit concerned that Fife played on as well. He's 20 metres out, almost directly in front. They keep taking risks, but finally, for the Dockers, we saw Clayton Hinkley involved in the build-up, but finally, a decent kick going forward because Ibbotson found the penetration to clear the Blues' defence. That is a perfect kick to Fife, who then takes a little bit of a risk playing on, but they get the goal. That's the first genuinely good kick I've seen inside their attacking 50 this afternoon.
I think the other thing too, Carlton maybe just getting ahead of themselves, getting forward to the ball. The midfielders aren't pushing back into that spot to help out their defence, and that means the defenders went to the front position on that occasion.
Pavlich gets it out. Main. They've got a run on here. 2 minutes left. Mazungu needs to go for goal. We talked about it earlier. Finally, he nails one. 3 in a row and they're back.
Wow, what a great rip. They have been belted in the clearances, but this is as good as you'll get. Zach Clark, they just force the issue. Pavlich just hits it forward. Get the momentum going your way. Main, what a great handball under pressure. And Mazungu, he's run with the ball, he's taken a bounce. What he had to do was either you find a forward or you finish off yourself, take the responsibility on either way, and he finished off in the right way.
Good decision and a great goal of Tendai Mzungu, and that's exactly what Glenn Jakovich was talking about earlier. Making the right decision when you're running forward in towards the attacking 50. You either hit a target or you take the responsibility to kick the goal, and that's what he did.
Judd, he needs to fire again. No clearance. Pavlich tries to. Fife tries to. Main tries to. Ellard got the clearance eventually. Thornton. 1.5 minutes left.
Can't just cough a goal up now. They've got to keep the pressure on.
Simpson. Shortish pass.
Well done.
Falk's got there. Walker back of the pack. Sweats on it. Gives up to Judd. Sides his way through to Walker. Splendid tackle. Great tackle, Subin. Ball still alive. Not through.
What a super tackle. That's the desperation that the Dockers have been looking for but unable to find all day. He tackled with aggression.
And his second effort after the tackle to knock it through, Jason, was pivotal.
That's good body work there by Armfield, a little bit too easily.
Stephen Hill's got to be better than that, Jason. This bloke's supposed to be a star. You've got to go back harder and make a contest there. That's under 18 football.
Yaron finds Judd.
Got to hang tight and try and get this margin under 4 goals at the last break and give yourself a chance, because the crowd wants to get into this game.
Puts it up high. Cruiser. Strong hands.
Didn't pay it.
Garlett spins around. High kick. Goal square. Clark stands under it. Ball bounces awkwardly. Through for a behind. They're hanging in. 32 seconds left. Maybe not time enough for a score for Fremantle. Plenty of time for a turnover.
Cruiser had a good purchase on that mark.
Barlow to himself. Sandlin's the target. Robertson. Sandlin's with the fist. Knocks it down. Davies to the pocket. Walker! Skywalker again!
He's doing it on a weekly basis, isn't he?
You know what? He jumps at the ball more than any man. I'll tell you what, he's dropped heaps this year, but he's taken 2 magnificent marks.
Have a look at the hands here, because he actually goes sideways. He has to turn sideways and reach across to take it. It's a terrific mark.
Great mark. That's right. Oh, gee, I love that. The marks come back into the game.
Is this a massive kick? He could nearly distinguish their chances or keep the Dockers' hopes alive. Extinguish, not distinguished, Dwayne.
Hasn't kicked one today. Crowd roaring, trying to put him off. He runs in and he spears it through. A dagger to the heart.
Oh, it's on.
Pushes and shoves, still going.
I don't think they like the celebration, the big pump of the fist.
3/4 time, Patersons Stadium, critical clash, round 21 between 4th and 9th on the AFL ladder. But Fremantle have played their way back into this. 33 points the margin. The Blues 11-16-82. Fremantle 7-7-49. Final term underway, and a big final term in the context of the season for these two clubs. Sadlins rips it free. Fife to his own advantage. Short and over the head of Pavlich. Ballantyne makes it work for him. Oh, post. Can you believe it?
Gee, it was a terrific effort by Hayden Ballantyne, but you just thought Nathan Fife would hit Pavlich with that pass under no pressure.
Murphy. Gibbs. All the big guns have plenty of possessions. Judd 25, Murphy 25, Gibbs 25. And he's been hitting targets with his passes as well. Robinson. And now the runner Dygan. Sits for him. He thumps it on. Warnock. Dygan keeps running. Warnock towards Thornton. Grover continues to fight on, but it's been a tough day at the office for Anthony Grover in game 199. Big milestone for him next week with Fremantle up against North Melbourne at Etihad Stadium. He'll be the 5th Docker player to 200. Main to Hill. He's also had a quietish day at the office. High and Dygan, good use of the body.
Just the variation in skill by foot. You see Gibbs and Murphy get the ball. You know that they're going to find a target. And again, Fremantle just struggle to get the ball out of their back half with efficiency.
Cruiser, no free. Knocked out of it. Simpson back to the top of the square. Arnfield, Hill with a fist. All in.
Silvani put some good body on Matty Cruiser there. Just barreled him out of the way as he was going for the marking contest. But he's been one of their better players, I think. Alex Silvani. He's been good again.
Front spot, Warnock, Sandlands with the reach. Clark gets it up. Judd tries to work his way through. Got his arms free, but no handball ball.
Just one thing about Stephen Hill, Jason. Where do you think he's really struggled with the tag this year? We know he's got talent. How do you get him into a game like that? Where do you think his best position is to maybe help him get back to some form?
Look, it's a difficult one, and as a quality player, he's got to learn to deal with the tag. Is what he has to do. He's got to increase his work rate.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's a skilled athlete, a blessed athlete, but he doesn't work hard enough at times.
Oh, bang! Betts looks up. Goal! Number 5, and that's the best of them. 2 players down behind play.
Yeah, Thornton's one of them. Great effort by Thornton. Both players' eyes on the ball, Dwayne. You called it. And the spillage going to Betts, but Thornton, take a bow, because as a forward, to run back like you did, and I tell you what, he's had a head clash here. He has not got up yet.
Eyes on the footy.
Oh, that's amazing. It was a fist in the contest, but it was an unintentional fist.
Garrett Gibbetson coming in from the other side.
That's great courage, though. And that spillage, you can nearly put him down for that goal then.
Continues on his merry way, Eddie Betts. A lazy for. Oh, have a look at that. There is a serious egg under the eye.
How big is that?
That's come up like a cricket ball.
That could be worse than just an egg.
Yep. Let's hope it's nothing too serious, but that looks nasty.
And they almost need to stop play with him out there at the moment like that.
It's a blood rule, is it? Have to be.
Main, Ibbotson, Duffield, Thornton still coming off. Sandlands. 38-point margin. And the smother from Simpson.
Well, Dwayne, the injury that Thornton's got as he comes off the ground is like a fist to the face in a punch, maybe in the boxing ring. And look what happens here. It's unintentional, but it was a fist.
It was the opposite fist, not the one he was spoiling with.
And it's just hit him right on that spot. Look, sometimes they do blow up really quick on that really cheekbone where the bone is.
Fremantle.
Judd being caught for throw, according to umpire Chamberlain. Gee, the crowd have been harsh on Judd. Maybe from his West Coast days, perhaps, but it's been fantastic again, Chris Judd. Scotland gets it off. Murphy, who's been amazing yet again. Robinson short. Hellard waited for that beautifully. He read it well. Which option does he want? He needs to pick his poison here. Betts, Walker, they're both there. Eddie's got 5, wants 6, and he'll get it.
Oh, great mark. Oh, free kick.
Eddie Betts' ball.
Just push. You won't go on the ball. Just pushed him. Run down on the 100.
That is a collision of boos and applause. Fremantle fans don't agree, but the Carlton fans that have made the journey are appreciative of the show Eddie Betts has turned on.
Look at how far he's gone back. He's enjoying hanging onto the footy here, Eddie. Gone back 30 metres.
6 goals and counting.
He showed good courage, didn't he? There's a bit of traffic around. McFarlane, Grover, Silvani. Not sure it's much of a push.
I think that McFarlane not having eyes for the ball there, that was probably the free kick.
I don't think he touched him, though. A well-deserved spell for Eddie.
He'll be back. So Carlton had already used their sub, Zach Tui, just before Thornton was injured. So they're going to be a man down for the rest of the game, but they lead by the biggest margin of the game right now, 44 points. Scotland gets his arms free. Cruiser, Gibbs,
Good kick.
Walker,
Oh, he goes again, Gibbs. Great work ethic.
and reaches. He knew the traffic might have been coming. He still put his hand up. Top of the square. Where's Eddie? Warnock's down there instead. Off hands Judd. Got his arms free to Carlton. To his own advantage. Gets a slipper on it. Rolls it towards goal. Carlton tried again.
He started behind about 6 of them and ran past them in the space of 10 metres.
Well, that's a concern, Jason, because he ran past 4 Dockers players, and on the last line of defence in any team, you've got to be desperate. Look where he is, and he just finds his way to the front of the pack.
Just super speed, though, Jacko.
Super speed, super intent and work rate.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe Carlton and Fremantle were roughly in the same spot on the ladder a month ago. Fremantle has lost its past 3 coming into this. Carlton, it's won its past 3. And right now it's looking like Fremantle will be 4 losses in a row and their season dead. Carlton 4 wins in a row and there's well and truly alive. Tui to Judd. Robinson back inside 50 to Warnock. Back of the pack. Grover and McFarlane. Broughton holds it up. 45 points. Played 8 minutes final term. Barlow caught into that by Clark. Johnson. Centering kick, not a bad kick either.
Good
Pierce.
vision. Good vision.
Stands under it, takes the grab. It's got players streaming for him. Duffield's the one. Pavlich sees Duffield, has time to steady, and they still can't get one to go straight.
It's going to be a nasty review when they look back early next week about where they went wrong, and some of their use of the football is going to be cringeworthy when they look at the tape.
But for the Blues, top 4 still theirs. Heading into the finals. Clark, good mark. Pavlich. Handball poor, but his teammate under pressure. Fife, you could argue Clark put him under pressure by giving it to him, but you'd presume Pavlich called for it. Joseph, Gibbs and Murphy. And they are away here. Eddie Betts is calling for it on his own.
Look at the numbers.
Yaron's got it. He's going to ignore Betts and go alone all the way home. It's a clinic.
Well, just magnificent running. Mark Murphy's coming to the bench, boys. He has had a sensational day. Just the class players, Gibbs, Murphy, Judd. This has been the difference with this side. The foot skills and the efficiency. And I just wonder whether Chrissy Yaron, if he didn't kick this goal, there might have been a few forwards who weren't happy with him, but that's what you do. When you bounce the ball, we kept saying it, you either find a target or you kick the goal. There's no worries with that happening.
WA boy back home, Chris Yaron. And everyone in WA knows his story. It was made into movie form, Three Boys Dreaming, a movie about him and his extraordinary bounce-back life. And that will give him immense pleasure kicking that goal.
Bad tackle again.
Walker out of the middle to half forward. Garlett, Silvani. Garlett almost keeps it alive. Almost Foulkes. Still there. Foulkes dives in, gets a handball up. McFarlane under outstanding pressure again from the Blues. Grover, Fife drops it. Joseph spins out of a tackle, hands it up. Broughton spins into a tackle, gives it up. Sandlands loses it. Warnock to Laidler to Walker. Goes long to the square. Eddie Betts is down there. And it bounces into the post, perhaps. No, must have just been touched on the line.
Eddie Betts, what happens here? Oh, hit his foot.
Hit his foot.
Get a ball in. Fremantle's up and down tendencies.
Just want to show you
continue.
Robbie Warnock here, boys. Just if he wants to be a big key forward, see how he gets his hands in that position, but then didn't watch the fall of the ball. He has to get his hands up at the contest.
Ellard in the meantime, Tone.
Again.
Pumps it out to 57 points.
Well, the floodgates could yet open,
Oh.
and this could blow out to a really nasty margin. It's been the Blues in control pretty much from the first bounce. The Dockers kicked the first goal, but then it's been all the Blues. They really have they've controlled the footy. They've controlled the Dockers through pressure. The only thing they haven't controlled is their conversion on the scoreboard. They've been a little bit inaccurate, but now 15-18, the scoring shots are starting to mount up, and there'll be a big score coming.
This could well be a smashing. Fremantle's run home. North Melbourne next week at Etihad, then Collingwood here, and then the Bulldogs at Etihad Stadium. And it's looking more and more unlikely by the minute that they'll make the finals this year. Fox, one of the better performers today. Good mark. Game one that he'll remember for personal reasons, if not team reasons. Barlow out wide, couple to beat. Rolls out of play. And the Blues run home. Well, they've got a bye. They might be half a win above the West Coast, plus this win. Patrons depart, but they have Hawthorn next week, a bye, and then St Kilda.
Never a great sign when the fans are leaving halfway through the last term.
Tough run home for the Blues. They needed this win, and they're going to get it. Juddy, magnificent again. Kick not so good. Grover cuts it off. But it's the trickle-down effect for Chris Judd. His professionalism, his inspiration, and every Carlton player around him wants to be like him. Ibbotson. Pavlich. Barlow with him. Pav calls for it. Didn't want to go for goal. Ballantyne wipes his hands, takes the mark.
Good vision from Matty Pavlich. Just thought he was going to blaze away from 50 once he got the hand pass, but his peripheral vision picked up Hayden Ballantyne in space. He should go back and kick the goal.
Kicked 1 goal, 2 today. Bends it through. But the horse has bolted.
Hayden Ballantyne, the one thing about him, I really thought he worked hard in that third quarter. He went on the ball, had a number of possessions, trying to lift his team. We know that some days he just doesn't touch it enough, and other days he can kick it to 4 or 5 goals in a game. But he's an industrious player. He's an annoying player. But like I said one time, you can win you a final or cost you a final, Hayden Ballantyne. Very talented player.
Halfway through the final term. Clark doing well in the ruck. He's fought gamely after being the NAB Rising Star nomination in a loss last week. Judd gets it up. Yarra takes on Clark. Burns him off. Ran too far.
Now, that's a good decision. And the reason he had to run too far is because Zach Clark chased with intent. The big bloke's got some toe. Don't worry about that.
To McFarlane. He has a bounce. And a couple. Cruiser now comes at him, commits him to a pass over Johnson's head. Had all the time in the world to hit a chest. Robinson to Laidler. Bounces it wide. Silvani can't cut it off.
Deliberate? No.
What about that kick forward? Hasn't that been the difference in this game? Just missed the target, a player coming at you. And it was McFarlane, who's a senior player.
That's probably why the forwards have stopped leading up, because they're getting kicks over their head all the time.
Judd. One arm free, got a kick away. McFarlane took on the tackle. Hand up to Pavlich. Ballantyne. Mzungu. Hinkley, sub, fresh on. Back to Mzungu. Pass option. Sandlands. Good grab.
That's the first good kick to the big bloke when he's been forward too.
He looks like he's the only player in runners. I'm serious. You have a look at those boots.
They are sand shoes, you're right.
They're sand shoes?
In fact, they're basketball boots.
With maybe the spikes that are put in. I've seen them, a lot of companies do that. You are right there. Have a look at that. They are basketball boots.
And they're big.
And he sinks that turf toe into the Sharon and gets himself a consolation prize.
Well, it hasn't been a massive return for him, but you don't expect anything else. I think they had to roll the dice with Sandilands. he is a player who can be awesome sitting on top of that square. Mazunga, good play, just ran the lines. Looks like he's getting a bit tired as the year goes on, but geez, a hard man to get round when he gets in that front position. And he plants those big feet. You cannot move that big backside of his. Have a look at those feet.
Are they basketball boots?
They look like, yeah,
boats.
I think they look like a basketball setup. Have they got spikes in them?
I don't think so. From the ball up, Robinson, Fife, clever. Clark, who's sung his praises a few times, wrapped up, no prior, ball up.
What size do you think they are, Dwayne?
16, boys.
16.
16.
I was going to say, I think a family of 4 could live comfortably in them.
Ball still in the middle, in the congestion. Broughton attacks it to Pavlich. Ballantyne, he reached, he can get and go. Shut down by Scotland, got a kick away. It's a bomb, long, marked on the line or a behind. It's a behind. Henderson just over the line.
Even that one, Matty Pavlich tried to punch the kick. He just needed to chip it. And the fact that it missed the target and bounced put Ballantyne under pressure instead of him able to run with the ball steady and kick unchallenged.
Well, the stats say that Matthew Pavlich has been a little bittersweet. Only 6 out of his 10 kicks hit a target, even though he's getting it a lot. He does bomb it long. Bomb it 35 to 40 metres to a contest. As opposed to that pass to Laidlow's advantage. That should be 50.
Oh, no. Had to be 50. Nathan Fife, I think he's been pretty frustrated today. Dwayne, you called it well. Mark was taken and just in frustration knocks the ball out.
Second go here.
Yeah, you cannot touch him, go anywhere near him.
Mind you, Laidlaw was pretty happy to let the ball go.
He did too.
Wasn't he? Didn't exactly wrench it out of his hands.
He milked it beautifully, didn't he?
But don't put yourself in that position in the first place, I guess. Is the answer, boys.
True.
Another one of Carlton's 22, recruited from another club. And he gets himself on the score sheet, Jeremy Laidlaw.
Plenty to cheer about for the travelling Blue supporters and those Carlton supporters that are based over here. Not a lot for the followers of the Fremantle Dockers, unfortunately. And I think you're right, it's just frustration more than anything. Shorey slipping into Nat Fife's game there.
So another win coming up for the Blues. They've only travelled outside Melbourne 4 times this year. They've won all 4. Gold Coast, Sydney, Port Adelaide, and now Fremantle. So they do enjoy the rare travel together because it helps in the bonding process. Walker strolls his way through traffic and hits another chest. Dygan playing forward.
Gee, how good was that
pass?
Oh.
He could crank up. He's got 1 for the year.
He likes his chances.
Mature age recruit, 27 years of age next month in his opening AFL season. Been a little down on form in recent times. He makes the most of his opportunity. It's short. Everton. McFarlane with a 1-2. Sidesteps Betts, which is tough to do. Silvani hacks a kick away. Arnfield. A few of the Carlton boys are spent now. Joseph pops it, overheads. Mazungu didn't know where to go. Warnock. Robinson. Walker. Can't bend it enough.
Nearly walked it in the Blues.
They were unselfish, weren't they?
Well,
Andrew Walker.
They must have spoken to Mitch Robertson, boys, because we highlighted in the first quarter, I think it was, or second, when he had to handball to Murphy on
That's
that
the
occasion.
one he should have kicked, Jago.
That's right. But at least on this occasion, you listen to, I guess, the criticism. He handballed the ball. Unfortunately, Andrew Walker didn't finish off the good work.
The chances of winning the Coleman have slipped away. Carlton still with a bye to come. And started the day with 48. He's got 49 now, but we understand Lance Franklin's kicked about 8 to skip away as Sandlin skips away. Takes the mark. Ballantyne slips away from a couple. Centre and kick. Barlow should trap this and run.
Good Shepherd, Pavlich.
It bounced kindly for him. Pavlich, he pushed Scotland in the back, nearly pushed him into Barlow. And the crowd gets something to cheer about.
He certainly hasn't been the Doggers' worst, Hayden Ballantyne. He's created another one there. He gives a contest. He works hard. He had a look around, and then he found a dangerous space ahead of a couple of Dockers. I don't know if he was looking for Barlow or Pavlich, but it was the right area to kick it to the advantage of his teammates, and that allowed Barlow just to stroll in. And a good finish on his left foot. Natural right footer. Didn't panic. Just steady.
I think there's an issue there where that ball was kicked to that space with no Carlton player being there. I reckon that's happened about 5 or 6 times, especially from centre bounce clearances. So Brett Ratton will just have a look to find how that player can get into that space with someone not zoning from the other side of the ground.
Sandlands knocks it down. Walker having a run in the middle and doing well. Another clearance. The half forward Eddie makes a contest, knocks it down to Garlett, to Dygan. He's got Eddie again. Almost, it is a free. He takes off. He's got 6. Plays on. Kicks to the square. Ball bounced in the middle of a few. The chaos ball doesn't work for them this time. Silvani bangs it clear. Ballantyne takes off with a bounce, trying to create another. A tumble punt. Crowley, he was manhandled.
Yeah, Davies just lost him in play, but you know, give credit to Ballantyne, then also the defence of Fremantle just rebounding the ball. But Ballantyne just running, having a bounce and getting that extra 15 metres really put Davies under pressure there.
Back into the team this week, Ryan Crowley. It was thought he was in to tag Judd for the day. Didn't eventuate. And he's got a couple.
Been an odd day for Ryan Crowley. He started on Heath, Scotland. Virtually didn't touch the ball in the first half of the game, and he did a terrific job keeping Scotland very, very quiet. But he's been released. He's kicked a couple of goals, only the 7 possessions, but getting himself on the scoreboard. Clear free kick there.
.39 margin. Many of the 34,700 that were here have departed. And the Blues have the 4 points. They might lose a player. We'll keep you in touch with that as Judd tries to break his way through a couple. We'll get another ball up with Brett Thornton having a knock to the eye. They do have a couple to come back soon. Waite and Jamison both due back before finals begin as Ballantyne gets another possession. The half forward Tui, who started as the sub. It's been another quality inclusion this year. Simpson to Scotland. Tui runs on. Scotland holds up. Played 25 minutes final term. Murphy with Mzungu. You have joined us late. Mark Murphy a 30 possession afternoon. Chris Judd 33 possessions. So once again, they'll be fighting for Brownlow votes. Barlow trapped. Speak of the devil. Murphy gets up with it. Gets a kick. Runner has to scatter.
I think he's been a lot more noticeable, Chris Judd, than Mark Murphy today. And certainly if you look at contested possessions, 17 to Chris Judd, 9 to Mark Murphy. He's been right under the umpire's eyes, getting those clearances. 8 clearances for Chris Judd. Fantastic effort.
Mzungu, Main, Pavlich, Ibbotson. And Ballantyne again, who's been sparkling.
Weighted the kick nicely.
Chip inside 50 by Hinkley.
Got a player in the goal.
Crowley can have a shot.
Well done to Hayden Ballantyne. Comes off the ground now. Had a quiet first half, but that third quarter, as I said, worked really hard. And he's had a really good last quarter here. Tell you what, Dwayne, when you talk about Waite and Jamison to come back in, they've got some senior players who can add to the list, like Bauer, Curnow, Hampson, Jordan Russell. So they've got a bit of depth there.
Yeah. Crowley across the face. They're in contention. And a lot of talk about Collingwood, Geelong, Hawthorn and the West Coast rightly. But the Blues, they're going to be in the firing line.
Yeah, they're in amongst it, no doubt.
Especially with a guy like Chris Judd, who by the end of his career might be the best player the game has ever seen. He's got the best Brownlow vote per game ratio of any player in the history of the game, averaging just under a Brownlow vote per game. Chris Judd is going to probably squeeze another 1, 2 or 3 this game here. Garland. He may well be a 3-time Brownlow medalist by the end of the season, Chris Judd. Garland arrogant there. Takes them on. Didn't really work for him. Crowley wins it, hands it over the top. Barlow. Players from both teams will be happy when the siren sounds right now. Henderson, Clancy Pearce, and the umpire Matt Stevic to sort it out.
Oh, Jeffrey Garlick got just ahead of himself a little bit there.
Looking for a highlight reel entry, I think.
Game number 50 for Jeffrey Garlick.
Like the old Kevin Bartlett throw it out in front instead of the handball this time.
Just thinking goal of the year off the back flank.
Pavlich shoots it out. 5. High. Johnson and Crowley down there. Henderson got a fist on it. Tubbed out. No. Crowley keeps it in from the pocket. Would have been a miracle. Will the bye cost Carlton? Is it in the wrong spot? Big game for the West Coast tomorrow now. Judd again. This will be possession number 34. He shows the crowd. I don't think he really is showing the crowd, but he's letting the Blues know what he's doing, but he might as well show it.
Just saying, I'm knackered. Let's slow it down for a little bit and just chip it around.
Gibbs, Ellard, Henderson.
I reckon I'd rather have the bye in the second last round, Dwayne, than the last round.
Yeah, that's true, which Essendon has. Davies might run and jump. Walker from 14. Didn't have anyone to jump on in the end. Tui. Laidler. Squeezes it to Cruiser. Manhandled, and then Silvani dives. Couldn't mark, puts his head down. McFarlane gang tackled again by the Blues. And a throw.
Jeez, I tell you what, he's shown some ability on ball too, Andy Walker, about clearances.
Yeah.
Well, he's a supreme athlete. Good run. Got speed.
Ballantyne. Blues haven't had anybody crack the 50-goal barrier since Brendan Favola left, but they might have 3 crack the 50-goal barrier this year. Andrew Walker, one of them, with 49 right now, as Pavlich takes the mark. Garlett and Eddie Betts also likely, as Ballantyne says, I'll do it all alone. Give you a rare highlight. Misses.
Gee, if they do have that, that is a great mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 50-goal kickers, not a dominant goal scorer like 100 goals, and then you might have 1 or 2 20s. That's, you get weight back too. He adds to that.
So Garlett's got 41, Walker's got 49, and Eddie Betts right now has got 45. Little fumble from Davies. Tapped out to Hill, who's barely seen it. Barlow pokes it up. Down to 90 seconds. Sandlands.
I think you had to back him against David Ellard with a high ball, didn't you?
Oh, come on.
There's about 2.5 feet difference.
Should have held his ground, David Ellard.
Well, boys, if Aaron Sandlands kicks this goal, they'll win the quarter by 3 points, or they'll lead the quarter by 3 points, which in the early parts of this quarter looked like it was going to be a blowout. So good fight back by Fremantle.
From 47. Splendid. Got a couple in this last quarter.
Well, he's up to 15 possessions, a couple of goals for Aaron Sandlands. 13 of his 15 possessions contested. 3 clearances himself. He's only kicked the ball at 50%. But he'll be better for the run. They'll be happy to see him get through unscathed, and they'll keep their fingers crossed that he pulls up okay in the next couple of days.
I reckon David Ellard's got to do some marking practice here, Jason. 44 centimetres the difference in that contest.
He needed a trampoline there.
30-point lead for the Blues. They've put the cue in the rack in many respects. That's the good news. They're going to win. The bad news, Jacko, you've got for Blues fans watching back home.
Yes, I've just been informed by the ground manager that they've called for an ambulance to the stadium to get it ready for Brett Thorpe to go to hospital, get the possible concussion and obviously to check that cheekbone.
Okay, Hinkley quickly inside 50 and cut off by Laidler. So
hasn't this bloke added something to their defence? He's a solid conveyance, and
he and Daigan have both been very good.
That background of having been at Geelong, he normally uses the ball well. Maybe not on that occasion, but they always let you down. But I reckon he's been very good.
Gee, some Bronx cheers for Juddy there. He has given it everything he's got today, Juddy. 34 possessions. He's allowed to be a little spent. Simpson. Mr. Consistent. It's 140 games in a row without a miss for Kade Simpson.
Great effort.
Never gets suspended. Rarely ever gets injured. Cruiser. Been good to have him back. The dying seconds. Scotland. Siren sounds to put the Fremantle fans out of their misery. But the Blues fans that have made the journey elated. Still on track for top 4. And Brett Ratton still on track for a new contract. 30 points the final margin. They dominated virtually from the 10-minute mark of the opening term, and they had Fremantle put away by half-time. 16-19, 115 to Fremantle, 12-13, 85.
This has been a